Hello, today I'm looking at Majjhima number 139, the AranaVibhanga Sutta, which is translated as the exposition of non-conflict. Now the location is Savatthi in Jetta's Grove at Anathapindika's Park, and the people mentioned are Buddha, also known as the Blessed One and the Tathagata, and also the assembly of monks or bhikkhus, the Sangha. Now Buddha is speaking to the assembled monks, saying, one should not pursue sensual pleasure, which is low, vulgar, coarse, ignoble and unbeneficial. One should not follow self-mortification, which is painful, noble, ignoble, and unbeneficial. The middle way, discovered by the Tathagata, avoids both extremes. Giving vision, giving knowledge, it leads to peace, to direct knowledge, to enlightenment, to nibbana. One should know what it is to praise and blame, and knowing both, one should neither praise nor blame, but should teach only the Dhamma. One should know how to define pleasure, and knowing that, one should pursue pleasure within oneself. One should not tell secrets. One should not speak harshly. One should speak unhurriedly. One should not insist on local language, and one should not override normal usage. This is the summary of the exposition of non-conflict. So the 6 points that Buddha's made there, and the rest of the sutta then goes on to explain why this is the behaviour to adopt. So in the first instance, we've got in the case of pursuit of enjoyment linked to sensual desires, this is beset by discontent, vexation, despair and fever. It is the wrong way. Whereas disengagement from the pursuit of enjoyment based on sensual pleasures is a state without discontent, vexation, despair or fever. This is the right way. The pursuit of self-mortification is a state beset by suffering, vexation, despair and fever. It is the wrong way. Disengagement from the pursuit of self-mortification is a state without suffering, vexation, despair and fever. It is the right way. So, Buddha then goes on. This is based on the Eightfold Path. Right view, right intent, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, right concentration. This is the middle way discovered by the Tathagata, which avoids both extremes. On the praise and blame, Buddha points out there is a wrong way and a right way. So this is his number 2 on his list. That to personalize the praise and blame is wrong, whereas to speak of it generally as per the Dhamma. For example, all those engaged in the pursuit of pleasure through sensual desires have entered upon the wrong way. Now that's not the way to present it, whereas the pursuit of pleasure through the sensual desires is the wrong way, is the correct method of teaching the Dhamma. So Henry's taken out the personalised part. And the same is said when talking about self-mortification. The same when talking about the fetter of being, i.e. tied to the 5 aggregates. Thus, all those who have abandoned the fetter of being have entered upon the right way. Instead, should be said, according to the Dhamma, when the fetter of being is abandoned, being is also abandoned. This is how one teaches the Dhamma. So that's quite an interesting change in the grammar of the Dhamma. Now the third point of discontent, non-conflict that Buddha makes, with regards to pursuing pleasure with oneself. This means putting aside the stimulation of the five sense pleasures, that is sight, taste, touch, smell, sounds. So that's not the six, not the mind object, but the five, the sight, taste, touch, smell, sounds. For these are coarse, ignoble pleasures. Instead, now here's the remedy, quite secluded from sense pleasures, secluded from unwholesome states, a monk enters upon and abides in the first jhana, and then the second jhana, the third and fourth. This is called the bliss of renunciation, the bliss of seclusion, the bliss of peace, the bliss of enlightenment. This should be pursued. This should be cultivated and should not be feared. And the next one, with regards to revealing secrets. When one knows covert speech to be untrue, incorrect and unbeneficial, one should on no account utter it. When one knows covert speech to be true, correct and unbeneficial, one should try not to utter it. But when one knows covert speech to be true, correct and beneficial, one may utter it, knowing the time to do so. And the same is true of harsh speech as well as covert secrets. So there's Buddha's remedy for the current age of social media. And the fifth point that Buddha makes about non-conflict is with regards to speaking hurriedly. One's body grows tired, one's mind becomes excited, one's voice is strained and one's throat becomes hoarse. The speech is indistinct and hard to understand. Whereas the opposite is true of one who speaks unhurriedly. And the sixth instance was with regards to speaking local language. Buddha is referring to the many dialects in his region. The example given by Buddha is the word for dish, may be referred to in different areas as a bowl, a vessel, a saucer, a pan, a pot, or a basin. Buddha advises speak as the locals do and accord with normal usage. Buddha concludes by repeating his previous statements that the wrong way produces a state with conflict, whereas the right way produces a state without conflict. This is what the Blessed One said, and the monks were satisfied and delighted in the Blessed One's words. And that's the end of Majjhima number 139, the AranaVibhanga Sutta. Thanks for watching.